Wherever there's an episodic series, you can bet two men will talk to you. AJ Talon and Owen Finch give their thoughts on Owen and AJ Talks.
Hello.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Owen and AJ Talks. We're doing a proper review. We haven't done really a review of anything in a couple of weeks because it's all been guessing games and everything like that. Or like the Did Ben Win or Lose video. We haven't really done a review of anything in a while.
That's right. Just ex-girlfriend because it's all a guessing game with us.
I'm Owen Finch and I'm here with
AJ Talon, and today we are back on a interesting choice for Avatar, our first Avatar video of the year. We have The Great Divide. Yeah, that's right. It is universally regarded as the weakest episode of Avatar. I want to say the weakest because, as we're going to talk about, it's kind of an overhated episode. Is it the worst episode of the series? It might be. But honestly, I think that just goes to show that the rest of the episodes are like really good.
Yeah. Yeah, so, unfortunately, like you said, this is our first Avatar video of the year. We tried to squeeze this in at some point last year, but we just couldn't because we had so many other projects. Well, really just one project that took up most of our time last year, so, you know.
It was so funny seeing, like, oh, we did 2 videos of this series, 2 videos of this series, and then we did, like, 19 or 20 Yellow Jackets videos.
Yeah, it's unfortunately this is our first Avatar episode. I think we eventually just decided to go this route just for the lulz of it, you know, because it's our first episode. But whatever. But yeah, like you said, it's the most overhated episode. You know, there's been TV shows and like YouTube channels that have kind of like ranked like what's the worst episode of like a good show and everything like that. And this usually gets brought up when Avatar is mentioned, you know, like this is the worst episode of Avatar because it's, like you said, it's largely regarded as like probably one of the greatest television shows on like Nickelodeon and everything like that.
I mean, not even Nickelodeon. I would say Avatar is regarded as one of the like the most beloved TV shows. Period.
Yeah, I think the main reason for that, as we'll talk about, is you know, the next 2 reviews we're doing in a couple of weeks is going to be The Storm and Blue Spirit, and then before this was Jet, which if you know was a really good Avatar episode, and then before that was The Waterbending Master. Before that was Avatar Roku Returns, and what was the one like before that? It's like a 2-parter.
Just this Winter Solstice Part 1 and 2.
Yeah, and then yeah, so it's just sandwich. This episode is just sandwiched like in between like S tier like A episodes for the most part. So I feel like this episode kind of gets like the shaft and everything like that. And I can kind of see why, because this episode really doesn't have anything to do with like the overarching like plot. It's a very like one-off episode and really never really mentioned again except for like one more time in a really funny way, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like it's definitely overhated. There's nothing really anything bad in here. Nothing that, you know, I would say like is overly like offensive or anything like that. But you know, it's just kind of whatever.
I think of like, you know, to make comparisons because we do at the same time. Ben 10 and Danny Phantom definitely have episodes that are like, oh, this sucks. This is not a good time. Whereas again with Avatar, this is just like mediocre. It's kind of boring.
Right.
Like it is just meh, you know, like it's whatever.
I mean, so I can make I feel like I can make the comparison. Episode 8 of Yellow Jackets, you know, AJ and I pretty much hated that episode, and that's worse than this because this just kind of happens and you just kind of move on from it. With episode 8 of Yellow Jackets, a lot of shit. It kind of causes a lot of shit to go on. That like I'm surprised the next episode was largely able to like. Kind of keep the momentum going at the end and everything like that.
Oh yeah, because again, like, I mean, this episode couldn't fuck up anything else. Like it's essentially a filler episode. Like that's really what it is. Like it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, honestly.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like I often really like the kind of one-off, you know, adventure episodes. You know, kind of, you know, just showing that like not everything is like a crazy world-ending thing. Like the characters are doing smaller stuff sometimes, which is good. Especially considering the next two episodes, pretty big episodes for the main character and the main villain of season 1. Like I feel like and last episode with Jet was also a pretty heavy episode,
Right.
and important later on. So like having episodes that like don't matter that much, that are kind of just like one-off adventures, like that's fine. They have their place.
Right.
Not every episode can be the biggest thing ever. But at the same time, Avatar has plenty of episodes that are one-off adventures that are a lot more entertaining than this.
Yeah, exactly. But we've had a hyped up talk about this episode for like years. Let's do the wiki shit. Then we'll finally talk about the most hated Avatar episode of all time.
Yep. So Owen, this episode is written by John O'Brien. He has written quite a few episodes of Avatar. I took a screenshot of his Wikipedia. He is an episode writer for 59 episodes. Sorry, that's not right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He was the head writer for 13 episodes.
How the hell did you miscount 12 and 15 for 13?
Oh, okay. Well, because it says staff writer 59 episodes, and then right below it has main episode writer. So I read the staff writer episode.
Oh, I thought like you miscounted. I'm like, how do you get 50? It's like
no. I just misread the count. I just misread which one I was reading off of. He was a staff writer for every episode of Avatar, or pretty much every episode, and then he was the head writer for 13 of them.
Okay.
The other episodes he's written are King of Amashu, Waterbending Scroll, The Great Divide, obviously. I'm not going to list everyone. I'm just going to list like the main one, the ones I think are noteworthy. Siege of the North Part 1, The Library, The Earth King, Nightmares and Daydreams, Firebending Masters, and the Ember Island Players, which is funny considering that joke they make.
Yeah.
So I like how he like acknowledges the episode he wrote. Isn't that great?
Yeah, kind of cool. It's kind of cool. It seems like he's written a lot of like the one-off like adventures, like type of episodes for the most part, type of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got. Or even the ones that are more important are still kind of like like the library is important, but like it is kind of isolated at the same time.
Yeah. So do you think this guy's in isolation when he writes these episodes, just all by himself?
Yeah. He's like he's at the kids' table in the writers' room.
But anyhow,
he's like, screw you guys. And then we got the director, Giancarlo Volpe. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly, or it might be racist. He was the director for 19 episodes, not listing them all, but we got Winter Solstice Part 2, Great Divide, obviously. The Swamp, The Chase, The Library, The Drill, Appa's Lost Days, Sokka's Master, The Day of Black Sun Part 1. So, again, kind of, there's a couple, like, part episodes, like the, like, more important episodes, but it also kind of a, more self-contained episode writer.
Yeah. Always, kind of good, save the big resources, I guess, for the big stuff. So,
yeah.
Do you think he's at the kids' table with the other guy? Or do you think he has his own kids' table?
Yeah, I was gonna say he's at a kids' table, but they don't want them playing together, so they're at other sides of the room.
And then since he's the director, he's yelling across from the other side of the room.
Yeah. Yelling across. Yeah, it's like super inconvenient. He's like, okay, and then this happens, and he's like, what?
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you saw when you get the. Oh, sorry, what's up?
I don't know if you ever saw that Family Guy joke. It's like they would like making their own like movie, and like they would like Stewie and Brian were like talking to each other, like talking to Chris on the phone in a different room, and there was like a delay, so like it kept like that's essentially what that probably is. It's like a delay.
I thought of a different Family Guy skit where it's like this mob boss trying to like instruct his like lieutenant, and then there's just like a guy with a really loud trumpet, and he's like having to yell over him.
I don't remember that one, so.
Okay, I'll see you later if I remember. But Owen, you get to guess when this episode came out.
All right, so I actually remember like talking about this episode with my friend Steve and everything like that. I was in 3rd grade when this episode came out. I didn't watch it live, so I I watched it later, but like he asked if I saw it. I remember it's roughly the fall, and I think it's like in November. And I was in third grade. It started third grade in November, like 2004. I went to Ireland. I'm trying to remember if it was before I went to Ireland or after. Like that. That's gonna matter because again, I remember going to Ireland in the fall, but you know. I'm gonna say it's before Thanksgiving, so I am going because it'll be kind of fucked up because one of the things is like about hunger, and it'd be kind of weird if like they aired this around Thanksgiving when everyone, even though that doesn't really tie into the episode like much, but whatever. So I am going to guess that this came out on November 15th, 2004.
Oh, and you were wrong. This episode, you are off by a good amount, actually. This episode aired May 20th, 2005.
Damn, I remember it being in third grade. I guess it was not the fall. So,
yeah. Well, I remember Avatar. I think first started airing in 2004. Actually, did it? I'm actually fucking looking that up. I'm double checking Wikipedia because I'm like, that is odd. Yeah, May 20th, 2005. Huh, okay. You know what? I was thinking of I was 4 when this came out.
Right.
So yeah, 2005. I was
funny,
4. 5.
4 was the big, because I thought this came out in 2004, and you were 4 when this came out, so it's funny how that works. So.
Yep.
But
yeah, go. And I guess let's just jump right into the video. That's pretty much it for behind the scenes stuff. There's a couple little things I'll bring up. But yeah, like I said, this episode is kind of just like there, so not a whole lot of like interesting stuff to talk about, unfortunately. Yeah, the episode starts off. Of course, Aang, Katara, and Sokka are still on their travels through the Earth Kingdom continent on their way north. Yep. So they were just, they made camp for the night. That's the next morning. Or actually, no, sorry, it's going on night. And then Sokka is setting up the tent, and Katara is out collecting firewood. They all got their little chores, which I like that. It's a nice little detail that they all kind of like contribute to making camp.
Yeah.
But they're kind of just arguing with each other. Katara, because Sokka's not setting up the tarp in case it rains, and Sokka's like, but like it's completely clear out. It's so warm out. There's no way it's gonna rain. Instead, let's use it as like an extra blanket. And then Katara's like, no, that's dumb. You could never be too careful. And Sokka wants to complain that, like, hey, you're bitching about my job. Imagine he actually said that on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Like he just says it. It's never acknowledged. The show is completely the same otherwise. He just like swears all of a sudden. But no, he's like, your firewood collection, matches your brain cell level. It's not a lot. And then Katara and him start bickering, and then Aang kind of chimes in to be like, "Hey, listen, I know you guys are kind of arguing with each other, but pretty easy fix. Why don't you guys just swap each other? Why don't you guys swap jobs if you think you could do it better?" And then they both kind of just like, "Okay, yeah, you know what, fair enough." And Aang kind of brags about this, being like, "Hey, all in the day's work for the Avatar." And I do remember on like the Nickelodeon DVDs, whenever they would like promote Avatar, that would always be like they would always show that clip.
Yeah, me too.
Of Aang being, all in the day's work for the Avatar, which is probably the most attention the Great Divide ever gets.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if you remember too. I might be wrong on this. Do you remember Nickelodeon would air like they would release DVDs of like Nick Picks where they would like clump all like the shows together like in one DVD, and they would air like an episode like of that show. So like which is weird because one of the things was like the Jimmy Timmy Power Hour was there, like a SpongeBob episode would be there, like Rugrats. For some reason too, they chose the fucking Great Divide for like Avatar as like one of the fucking.
Yeah, I know, right? Of all the dick pics that you would send out, the Great Divide,
So I think. I wonder if that's where they come up with the name Nick Picks. They just changed the. Oh my gosh, that'd be funny.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Somebody sent out to their boss, like, "Oh, sorry, that was meant for somebody else." And it was like, "Oh no, that's a great name, Nick Picks. It's wonderful." And he's like, "Yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Nick Pick, 100%."
But anyhow, when they would show the trailer for like, I feel like it's Nick picks like one, I think. They would play this clip of Aang saying, "Oh, in the great work of the Avatar." Like, wow, Great Divide. Like, Avatar got. I think Avatar.
Owen, when Aang said that, I cried, I shit, I pissed myself, I laughed, all in 5 seconds.
I gave it a standing ovation. Was like, encore, please, encore. Like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's that Fantastic Four meme. Say that again.
yeah, I like that.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you knew that. Whenever anyone like name drops, like the show or whatever, they'll play like the Fantastic Four clip of like Reed turning and being like, "Sing that again."
That's funny.
Yeah, that was a shitty movie. Maybe we'll do that eventually. Man, Fantastic Four never gets lucky with movies. They're really cool, but their movies usually suck ass.
I think I saw one of them at a drive-in and it was really bad. So
yeah, it sums up the Fantastic Four movie experience. First Step was okay. That came out like a year ago. That was like, it was fine.
But whatever. Let's continue to talk about
Yep.
I know
something else that is like just like fine. So Aang also splits up the watermelon for Momo and Appa. Momo's kind of complaining that he gets a smaller piece, and he's like, "Hey, come on, Appa's got 5 stomachs. It's not fair."
I like.
Yeah, I do kind of like this. That like, sorry, what's up?
I would like to think, because the big conspiracy theory is that Momo is Kiatsu Coded. I love the fact that he just gave like his his mentor
He's like, "Bro, I raised you, and this is how you treat me. I can't believe I raised you like this, Hank."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do like this. It's kind of like with the Winter Solstice Part 1. I like when that that like being the Avatar is more than just like punching things hard. It's like you gotta like be the bridge between two groups, and like be a mediator, be like a leader.
Yeah. And it's just,
like obviously it's very like small shit, but like they kind of bring it up later of like, I don't know, like kind of keeping you guys from fighting over chores is a little different than like helping two groups get over like 100 years of hating each other.
Oh, it's kind of nice too. Kind of nice to set up what that Aang didn't have to do this for like a big group like later on. So this wasn't just like completely like a
right.
off. So
but also like as a larger part of the show, there's plenty of situations where Aang, he tries to solve it by being like the peacekeeper rather than like punching things, until everyone says yeah.
Hey, that so maybe this episode isn't worth nothing. He took something away from this episode. So
what, to lie your ass off when people aren't fucking doing what you want? Okay, I'm sure. Weird message, but okay.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, but it's the next day, or like, presumably the next day because they're setting up the tent. But the next morning, they arrive at the Great Divide. And, it's kind of funny, like, the Ember Island players, they were legit just going to fly over it, but I guess they stopped to kind of, like, look at the pretty sight. Aang and Katara are obviously, like, really impressed by the Great Divide because it's the largest canyon in the world. And Sokka, they're like, "Oh, wow, it's magnificent. It's so beautiful." And Sokka, channeling his Ember Island players actor, is like, "Okay, well, I've seen enough. Let's go."
I like this because, like, I even called this out. Like, Sokka knew this episode was a throwaway, and I like you said, I love the fact that it's the Sokka actor and the Embley Islands player. That I like too, by the way. Because I remember in that episode, Sokka gives that like actor like notes about like what he should do. I like to think Sokka off screen like told this guy, "You totally nailed the Great Divide part. Totally nailed it." Like,
in a weird way, he's like reverse Rick. Where Rick is always like avoiding plot episodes and wanting to do episodic ones. Whereas Sokka, whenever like they're getting involved in like an episodic episode, like when they want to go on vacations, which leads to like the library, or like when Katara wants to be the painted lady to help out that village, Sokka's like, "No, fuck that. We're doing plot episodes. Screw episodic stuff. We're doing plot stuff."
So so what I'm hearing is we need an episode of Rick and Sokka together because what the fuck?
Oh yeah, they hate each other. They're like they're just like pulling in opposite directions. Yeah,
you would have to get like a middle ground where like it's a somewhat of a plot heavy episode, but like a bunch of nonsense in it at the same time and everything like that.
Sure, yeah. So I guess what episode would that be? I mean, Ice Viper is a good example.
Yeah. That episode of like Rick and Morty where like the sword episode where Morty gets like the sword and like he has to cut his dick off because that ends up like sort of mattering because you find out like the Rick we saw like in that episode like switch.
Yeah, it's like a robot. He plays some stuff during that whole thing. Yeah. But yeah, Sokka obviously just wants to leave. But as they're about to go, pretty much, this guy just comes over. He's like pushing everyone out of the way. He's like, "Hey, fuck you guys! Eat a dick. Tribe's getting here first."
Yeah.
I already called dibs before you guys were born. And Aang's like 112, and he's like, "Yeah, well, I called dibs like 200 years ago. So how about that?"
I would love it if that's what they actually said to each other. Like,
yeah, that'd be fun.
Aid saying that too would be so out of character for him, but I would love it so much. Like,
yeah. But funny little trivia, because this episode doesn't have a whole lot of funny trivia. This guy is voiced by Scott Menville. He's a pretty famous voice actor. He voices Robin in Teen Titans and Bucky in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So like he voices the two biggest sidekick characters for DC Comics and Marvel Comics. Then in here he's just like the sidekick for like the old guy.
Yeah, I think this.
I guess this guy's like destined to voice like sidekicks.
And here's especially a side. I like the fact too that like, because he had to save a spot for like his tribe. I like that was his only thing that he did like this episode was just save a spot for his like tribe.
Yeah, and he didn't even do a good job of it. Because the guy was just like, "Oh, well, I can't really guide people who aren't here, so fuck off."
Yeah, I like this too. Like, it's like his tribe would like set it up. I like that this guy wasn't even like involved in like being able to allow to help set up. I like to think he screwed up. He screwed up so bad. It's like, look, just go hold our spot. Like, I like to think he screwed. Like he put, he didn't use their tents. He didn't put the tops on their tent on his tent. So it's like, look, you fucked up doing the tent. You fucked up doing the firewood. Go fucking hold our spot in line. Like, you make yourself useful.
Maybe, hopefully you do that much, or at the very least, like trip and fall into the Great Divide. Yeah. So he shows up and he's like, "I'm a refugee. Like my whole tribe, my whole village was destroyed by the Fire Nation. So we all have to walk like miles and miles to the capital of Ba Sing Se." So that's cool that Ba Sing Se gets mentioned this early on. Because it's the biggest city in the Earth Kingdom, and it's like the capital. Obviously, you got other big cities like Omashu, but like at this point in the show, Omashu and Ba Sing Se are like the only Earth Kingdom cities that like are known to like be safe from the Fire Nation.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that like this guy and his tribe are like gonna travel to Ba Sing Se, since like it's, as far as they know, it's like one of the only cities to survive being invaded.
Boy, is this guy gonna be in Rude Awakening in one season?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, buddy. Wait a couple months.
Yeah, really.
Well, it'd be funny if they went to Omashu and then that got invaded. And like, okay, Omashu didn't work. We're going to Ba Sing Se. Then Ba Sing Se gets invaded. And it's like, bro, these cities didn't get invaded for 100 years. And then we get there, and then in the span of like half a year, they get fucking taken over.
Yeah, that would be that's pretty awesome. Yeah, kind of cool that Ba Sing Se gets mentioned for the first time. That's pretty cool.
Also a good hint that they're getting farther north, because like I said, Omashu is like the only other city besides Ba Sing Se that's like known to be like impenetrable by the Fire Nation.
Yeah,
and he's traveling to Ba Sing Se instead of going to Omashu. So shows that like they've traveled a big distance from episode 3 or no 4.
Yeah, episode 4, because that's when Omashu happens. So
yeah,
I don't mind this too much. All fine, relatively fine stuff.
Yep. Then the tour. Then a group of people starts coming up, and Katara and Aang and Sokka are like, "Oh, is that your tribe right there?" And this guy's like, "No, these degenerate pieces of shit, these absolute scumbags, these wastes of air." And I'm saying that next to an airbender. Are called the Zhangs. They suck. And then The tour guide pops up too, because I guess he just like lives here and like guides people through the canyon. To be perfectly honest, I'm kind of surprised there's only one tour guide. Because the whole thing is like the leader of the Zhang comes up and they're like, "Hey, our village got destroyed too, and like we, want to get the tour guide to take us through the canyon to the other side because we're also going to Ba Sing Se." And the tour guide is like, "Well, okay, sure." And he's like, and then sidekick guy is like, "What the fuck? I was here first." And he's like, "Well, I can't really, take your tribe if they're not here."
Yeah.
And then as he said that, out from the darkness emerges the Gajins, and they're shown to be very proper and like elegant, very like fancy. They're all wearing like white dresses with like fancy like markings on it, and they're all like walking like upright, very respectfully. Whereas the Zhangs are all kind of like barbarian dressed, like dirty, like fur patchings everywhere, and their hair is kind of unkept. Kind of just showing the difference between the two tribes.
Yeah, decent. I like the designs of these two tribes and shows the difference of them and everything like that. That's pretty cool.
I will say I don't like that we don't really get any of their names. Like they're kind of just like, like we don't like really learn anything about them beyond like the superficial shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so you can add both these tribes to the groups of characters that don't get names. Yeah. So
does the tour guide have a name?
No, he does not. It's just tour guide.
All right, that's 4 people who don't get names.
More than 4, but yeah, 4. But what? So,
Yeah.
But.
And yeah, but I will say, considering it's the greatest canyon in the Earth Kingdom, I am very surprised that there's only one tour guide. And we see he like has a house here, so like I guess he just like lives here, and this is his job. He just takes people to and from the canyon.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't have more tour guides, especially because
okay, because they even say like, "Oh, well, better luck tomorrow." By the way, the whole reason all this bullshit happens is because they couldn't wait one day for the tour guide to get back.
I know, yeah. Yeah, I know. Very impatient. No, they could wait one day because, as you're gonna say, like both groups didn't even want to travel like together. So like so like they were willing to wait one day if it meant they'd have to travel together, pretty much. So
yeah, and to be perfectly honest, I feel like it also would have been faster to just have Appa. Because what they're gonna do is they're gonna have Appa take like the sick and elderly across. It's like Appa could just make like 5 trips and get everybody across.
Yeah, probably. So.
Because like we see like there's not a whole lot of each tribe. Like they're very like there's like 20 people in each tribe.
Yeah, and Appa could probably fit like a good maybe 10 of them.
Yeah, I know exactly. So yeah, again, really like 4 or 5 trips, Appa probably could have made it across.
Yeah.
So a lot of this shit could have been avoided.
I guess the episode would be boring because it'd be a lot of them just standing around and working out their differences type of thing. With
yeah, I know, right? Well, it's literally like, hey, yeah, you ever wonder why we're here? And it's like, I don't know, man. We're just sitting in the middle of this box canyon across from these goddamn Zhangs, and the only reason we're here is we got to get to Ba Sing Se, and the only reason they are there is because they got to get to Ba Sing Se.
AJ, you should totally make that a show. That's totally not a show that we covered at all last
year.
Right?
Well, I mean, the Zhangs, they're kind of like red. That's pretty cool. And then, I don't know. I mean, Sokka and Katara are wearing blue, and Aang's got blue arrows. I guess we'd call it like blue and red or something. Yeah. Blue versus red. That's pretty cool.
Aang was tortured, because he didn't want to be the Avatar and everything like that, and he was frozen in an iceberg for years, and fish out of water type of thing. So he's kind of the alpha of the situation. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is very alpha. Aang Alpha. There you go, Avatar Alpha.
I had to fucking reach for that one. I think so.
I was gonna say, yeah. I was like, where are you going with this? I was just gonna say, like, there's a bunch of avatars and there's a bunch of AI. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know where the fuck I went. So
yeah, like Epsilon and can talk to his like past lives and can talk to his past lives. There you go. That's good.
He's the main one right now. So
there you go. Yeah. So Aang kind of steps in to be the mediator. And I will say, Aang gets pissed off pretty easy with these guys. Like, they'll argue, Aang will try to suggest something, they'll ignore him, and then he'll, like, be like, all right, listen up, and, like, he gets aggressive. Which, I feel like that should have happened at the end, like, where Aang kind of just gets fed up. And, like, don't get me wrong, I understand sometimes you gotta, like, be assertive. But I don't know, I feel like it would have been a little more satisfying for Aang if, like, he started off, like peaceful, and then at the end he has his, like, freak out.
Yeah. And the freak out at the end would have made a lot more sense because
I was gonna say, like, Aang is usually like he can get angry, but like he usually doesn't like flip out like this. He flips out like 3 or 4 times in this episode.
Yeah, definitely. So
well, and flip out is a little much, but like I'm just surprised he kind of loses his temper so quickly.
Yeah. So.
Because he's pretty much just like, all right, look, we're all gonna go, because like both tribes are arguing, like, hey, we got a lot of old people. We should go first. And the Zhangs are like, hey, we have a lot of sick people. And then, the Gajins are like, well, yeah, if you guys weren't so disgusting, you wouldn't have so many sick people. And the Zhangs are like, well, if you guys weren't so healthy and clean, you wouldn't live to be so old, which was pretty funny.
But define old back then, because obviously old is a weird term to throw out.
30.
Back then, well, that's old. Some of these people
Yeah, sure.
Somebody.
The old guy with the big beard, he's probably like, 20.
If he's fucking 20, he needs to do some fucking soul searching and fucking look in the mirror. That's fucking 20. Hey, he's looking better off than Santa was in that film. Remember you find out that fucking Santa was only like 20 fucking age? Like, what the fuck? Like, he...
Yeah, I remember that one in Family Guy, yeah. Drakengard 3 also does a funny joke where there's like an old guy who like joins the group, and then one of the characters is like, hey, by the way, how old are you, dude? You look ancient. He's like, oh, I'm like 20. He's like, what the fuck? That's like my age.
What the fuck is it? Take care of yourself. Like, that's...
I know. Like, come on. Jesus.
I guess Santa will give a pass because he was fucking like, being like...
Stressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
God. But, yeah, so... both Aang says like, all right, look, Appa's gonna take your sick and elderly across, and then we'll all go together. And then they all agree, and then Aang is like, and then Sokka's like, oh great, we're gonna have to fucking walk across. That's wonderful. And the tour guide says, all right, no food across the canyon because it'll attract like predators in the canyon. So I all have to like eat or throw out their food, and then they can begin their travel, and that's where Owen, you take over.
Yeah, overall, I thought all of this stuff was pretty solid. Good way to set up like the plot and everything like that. You got these two tribes fighting each other. They have to work together to get through it. Nothing really bad here. Nothing really offensive. Just kind of a whole lot of nothing so far. But the episode can only improve from here. It can't really get bad or anything like that. So it doesn't kiss this we're talking about. We can only get worse. So
yeah. Don't forget, Owen. We got to get back to that soon.
I didn't mention that off camera, so I was like, yeah, maybe we're not doing that anymore. So,
yeah, I know, that was crazy. We almost always mention Kiss Sis before we do a video, just to remind us, no matter what we do, it'll never be that bad.
We still got a lot of shit of that left too. We got like, another season and then the manga.
Finale, and then we got a whole other season to do.
And then a manga. Don't forget the manga. Can't forget that.
A whole manga going on for 17 years. Fucking Christ.
We have to buy that shit too online and everything like that. So.
I have to spend my money. If my family ever sees a Kiss Sis book I own, I will commit seppuku. I will fucking jump off the nearest skyscraper.
By the way, I was gonna say something earlier, AJ. You're probably gonna be like, you might not be surprised, but you'll be like, wow, this kid's an idiot. I forgot like refugees were like a real thing. Because like I only ever relate to it in Avatar, because that's like the only time I ever like hear about refugees. Because again, I don't really do a lot of like.
Really? Okay. About to say, I think as a kid, Avatar was the first time I heard the word, but like I knew it was like a real thing.
Well, to be fair, I probably did learn about it, but it probably, eventually probably just went out here. One of the. You also got to forget, I've been out of school for a long time too, so I haven't heard this term very often, and the only time I really.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Zuko. He says honor so much, I'll kind of forget that like honor is like an actual word.
Yeah.
Funny enough, Owen, I'll share this. Failing Odd Parents was how I learned that 10 was a real number.
I can see that, I guess. Sure, why not?
Yeah, it was the episode where Timmy's fighting his imaginary friend. And he's like, oh, I'm 10. And I like turned to my mom and I was like, hey, is 10 a real number?
It's not good.
Oh, and I think I was like 3. So, cut me some slack.
It's true. But yeah, let's continue talking though. So yeah, they start their quest down the divide. Appa flies off with the sick and the elderly. I feel bad for the elderly that has to go on Appa though, because the elderly there were fucking sick probably.
Yes, they get to the other side and then they're like, oh, everyone had heart attacks. Holy shit.
Yeah, we didn't. Afterwards, we never see them like get off Appa or anything like that. So they could.
I know. Again, like they all died. It'd be funny. Fucking ate them.
Does he eat meat? I think he does, right?
Sure, why not? I remember Sokka made a joke that like he like thought Appa ate Momo in Sozin's Comet.
That's right. Yeah.
Appa's kill count is up there with Sokka's. The fucking war criminal.
Yeah, Sokka hasn't even started his war criminal crimes yet. So
I know, right? He hasn't gotten a taste for blood yet. He's gonna be there soon.
But yeah, the main reason, by the way, I think you mentioned this, but I'll just say it again in case you didn't. The reason they need this tour guide also too is because he's also an earthbender, so like he's the only one that can like get them like out of the canyon, so he has to use his earthbending skills. Because again, this ends up becoming a big deal, kind of, in this episode.
Which again, it makes me wonder why there's only one tour guide.
Yeah, should have been, especially too because what happens to him, like, would have been nice if they had 2 tour guides,
Yeah,
like a backup.
Hey, considering it's like the biggest canyon in the world, you'd figure like more than one person.
Yeah, multiple people, like not just these 2 tribes, but other people would probably want to.
And at the end of this episode, there's nobody.
Yeah. So you're screwed. But anyhow, so Aang's kind of talking to him a little bit. Kind of talks about like how good of an earthbender like he is, and kind of talks about like the tour guide says like, I'm not just here just to guide people. I also like to throw out facts out there. Before this too, he also like makes a path. Like there was no path for them to walk across, but he uses his earthbender to like push out some like rocks out, so that way like they can have a path to walk across. And he mentions that back then, the reason that canyons became a thing was because the earthbenders got pissed with farmers, so they wanted like some sacrifices or whatever. It really doesn't mean anything. It was just obviously
Yeah, he mentions like earth spirits wanted sacrifices and they didn't get it, so they like tried to kill everybody or something.
And then they almost get
That's cool. Folklore.
Yeah, and they almost get crushed at boulders, but then the tour guide's able to stop it, and he sends the boulders like across the edge, and he says I guess the earth spirits are still angry, and Aang and Sokka kind of look and think that this guy's crazy, which probably is. So I can't. Again, he has no one really to talk to, but the people that like show up for these tours, and he's probably done this enough. So
fucking every time you say the boulder in Avatar, I think of the boulder.
Yeah,
like the guy, like the Rock ripoff. And every time I think like, oh, this guy got a boulder thrown at him, I think like they threw the wrestler, the boulder,
right?
Like a bunch of the boulder guys fucking coming down.
So then they continue on the journey. The tour guide takes another boulder and just uses his earthbending to like chuck it across like a rock wall that's standing up just there. And he says he does this because obviously they're doing this to try to get away from the Fire Nation, so this would like block their path so the Fire Nation can't like get to them. So he mentions that they're safe, except no, they're not, because a big critter shows up. It's a huge animal, very monstrous, comes over and grabs the tour guide, and obviously the tour guide's like struggling. He's trapped in this critter's mouth. The design of this critter looks pretty cool. Very monstrous. He's got like 4 legs. He's really big. Or she. Could be a she. Never know.
Oh, and did you assume that it's giant spider's gender? I can't believe you. Owen, you're canceled.
I guess.
Owen made you talk.
I wonder what would have happened if I said it was a woman first. I wonder if I still would have been canceled. So.
Well, No, because sexism for the other party is okay.
Yep. So then Sokka realizes like that they have to help this guy, so he throws his boomerang at this critter. And then the critter starts chasing after Sokka. Katara water bends and she actually does the water whip to this critter, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, there you go. She kind of shows she's been practicing since that episode, which is good.
And then she gets chased, and Aang starts attacking this creature. He creates a tornado and like a mini tornado and traps the creature inside and just launches it like across the canyon. And during this, the tour guides got injured. Katara feels like his arms, and we found out that his arms are broken. And because his arms are broken, that means he can't earthbend. He must not be that good of an earthbender, because I've seen earthbenders not be able.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, plenty of other earthbenders like use their legs or like their head or like literally anything else. I'm like, come on, buddy, you can do it. Just believe in yourself.
But yeah,
and also, like, by the way, they're really shit out of luck that fucking Katara didn't learn to heal yet.
Yeah, so, because he can't earthbend, that means they're trapped in this canyon, and that's how it goes to break, and that's the end of the show. Chuka, whatever.
That's in there. And, we get the blood gulch jingle, like the do 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 do.
Except it's the jingle, but it's like the Avatar, like ooh ooh, like what the thing they say at the end of like the credits and everything like that. But it's in the.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I was trying to do that, but failed miserably. But.
Yeah. So. And another thing, it's would have been funny since Aang was able to pick up waterbending like literally without effort the first time he tried. Obviously he wouldn't be able to do it because he like wasn't good at earthbending later on. But it would have been funny if Aang at least like tried to earthbend. Like all right, Aang, give it the old college try.
Yeah. But whatever. They clearly wanted to have some drama. And have them in like an unwinnable situation. Even though it seemed like they only needed the tour guide though for like the end part. Like everything else would like they were able to kind of get through like pretty easily and everything like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say they only really needed them at like the very end. Also, Aang's got that whistle for Appa now. He could just like blow that and then like Appa will come to him and they could like fly out of there. Or, if for some reason Appa wouldn't hear him, which I doubt that, Aang could use his glider, be like, all right, guys, I'll be back in like an hour. Go fly to Appa, who's on the other side probably. Be like, hey, Appa, can we like go, do that thing? They go, and then again, 4 or 5 trips. So, like you said, the writers clearly just wanted like a situation where it's like, oh no, like we're trapped. What are we gonna do? And I'm like, there's like 5 ways you guys can get out of this. Like you guys are just kind of being babies.
Right. I mean, obviously, as we're gonna find out, they were gonna deal with more canyon crawlers because they smuggled food and everything like that. But again, I feel like.
Like, don't get me, but like again, like between all of them, Katara, Sokka, like if Aang left for like an hour or 2, they probably would have been fine. Yeah, and I know they would have been fine because considering the fact that like they camp for the whole night and they're fine.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a bunch of different ways they could have gotten out of this, but whatever. Obviously, Sokka's confused because obviously they got rid of all their food. But yet a canyon because we found out this is a canyon crawler too. Yeah. And we find out that they could, if they got rid of all the food, why are they still like, why did they still have to deal with the creatures and everything like that? And one of the groups throws the other one under the bus, saying that like they probably brought food down here, and everyone just starts like arguing. So Aang loses his temper again. Again, it would have been fine if they could have done something where, like, he's pretty patient the first time, and he doesn't lose his temper completely, but, like, he gets a little bit annoyed with them. I was just like, hey, look, like, we're in a bad situation here. Let's figure this out. So then the 2 groups decide they don't want to travel, like, together. So, Aang comes up with another compromise where they'll just split up. And one will go one way, the other will go the other way. And, he sends Katara and Sokka to go with one of the group. Katara goes with the white group, the white clothed group. I mean, I almost fucked that up.
Wow. Are you saying Katara is a racist?
I fixed it. And then Sokka goes with the Janes. I don't know, like I can't remember the fucking other group name, but whatever.
Gotcha. I would love it if just like randomly, Katara's just like, all I'm saying, guys, is like the air nomads kind of had it coming,
Yeah.
And Aang's like, what? It's just like, oh, nothing,
And he kind of wants them to do some investigating, and find out like why they hate each other so much. And Aang's gonna basically stay with the tour guide. I guess Aang, because he's neutral, he doesn't go with one group or the other. But I don't know why Aang just hung out by himself. I know he wasn't by himself.
I do kind of get that, where he's trying to not come off as like taking a side. And the tour guide even like joins him later, and he's like, it's tough to be impartial, isn't it?
Yeah. So, kind of it for this. This was all relatively fine. Again, I feel like they wanted to clearly put him in a dangerous situation, but like you said, they easily could have gotten out of this. But again, they clearly wanted the plot to happen.
And again, they're not really in danger at all tonight. Like they're all stuffing their faces, and like there's not a hint of danger. They don't run across any danger until like the end of the canyon.
Yeah, and again, I'm so really confused. Like you said, they could have done all the stuff you said to get out of there. But again, it seemed like they didn't really need the tour guide until the beginning and like the very end, unless like, I guess I guess he could have gotten them out of there like faster, because like maybe they weren't planning on having to like settle for camp for the night and everything like that type of thing.
Yeah, I guess. Also, I do want to say, like, the canyon ain't that interesting to look at. Like, it's all just kind of rock.
Yeah.
And to say like, oh, well, that's what a canyon is. But I'm like, okay, Avatar has done episodes in like barren areas and still been like better to look at. Like the desert is a great example.
Right.
The desert was a lot cooler than the canyon. Fucking Red versus Blue. Blood Gulch looks a lot better than the Great Divide.
But which version? There's a couple.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So, the plot, I'm like, okay. It's already stupid that they're not out of the Great Divide already, because there's definitely ways they could have worked around this. And again, it's also like, I don't know, it's not great to look at, visually.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's plenty of canyons in real life that are like more visually interesting than, because like the episode starts off with them being like, wow, the Great Divide, it's so beautiful and like amazing. And it's like, it just doesn't look that great.
I think Sokka knew what he was talking about then, when he's like not that interested. So
yeah. Like it's just all rock and like some ledges, and I'm like, you could do some really cool stuff with the Great Divide, Like, they mention like, earth spirits or whatever. You could have like in the past earthbenders build like great sculptures in here, or like,
that would be cool.
That'd been cool, a little bit of lore. I don't know, just I feel like missed opportunity.
I also another missed opportunity. It seemed like these canyon koalas are the only things they like deal with. It would have been cool if those other like creatures they had to deal with that were in there.
Yeah, creatures in there, yeah. Badger moles, introduced badger moles. Since they kind of end up being a pretty important like animal in the Avatar world.
Yeah, one of those ones again. I forget because it's been a while.
They're the ones they find in like the cave of two lovers, and like they taught Toph how to earthbend when she was a kid.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that would have been cool. But yeah, I like the canyon koalas like designs. They're pretty okay, but again, it's kind of
cool. Like it kind of sucks that we only got one. Or an episode I could think of in Ben 10 Alien Force. Ben and one of his enemies gets trapped on in a desert. And they have to like work together and like travel for like a day or two to get out. And they, a similar premise where they, they're attacked by the monsters that live there, and they get attacked by a good like, 3 or 4 different types of like monsters, and like it's cool, like it's like different types of like threats, that you can't all just deal with in the same way.
Yeah. Well, Road Trip and Danny Phantom, like Danny had to deal with. a lot of different like threat. Like he was dealing with the guys in white, but also like the threats of like what the stones or whatever will like turn in each thing like into and everything like that.
Right. Exactly. Well, yeah. Well, I was using an example of like just because you're in one location doesn't mean like you have to stick with one threat. You know what I mean? Like it's a big ass canyon. I would be surprised that the canyon crawlers are the only thing that live there.
Yeah. So whatever. Anything else you want to say about this? Because now it's you talking. I didn't talk for that long because there's not really wasn't a whole lot to talk about during my thing. So.
No, not really. Just like I said, it's kind of just like, oh, okay, shit goes wrong, and then just moving on, I guess. Yeah. So they make camp for the night. Katara with the Gajang, Sokka with the Zhangs, and this makes more sense. Katara is usually the kind of like proper polite one, and Sokka is the kind of more like brash, impolite one. So it's a good matchup. And they kind of call back at the beginning of the episode where Sokka's asking them like, "Oh, hey, you're not putting up the tarp," and they're like, "Oh, why would we? It's not going to rain, and besides, it makes good blankets." Yeah. And Sokka's like, "Thank you," and Katara's like, "Oh, you guys are putting up tarps," and they're like, "Do you think it's going to rain?" And they're like, "No, but you can never be too careful." So they're getting along well with their groups.
Can you imagine they went the opposite direction? Katara went with the Janes and
yeah. Fucking Aang is like the next morning, like, oh my god, Katara, Sokka, why are you guys covered in blood? And they're like, no reason. By the way, the Zhangs and Gajins kind of goth. They're gone now. We're real crazy. I don't know what happened.
Oh my gosh! So they killed them. I was thinking you were gonna go the other way, where they were just covered in blood and like I don't know, they did something to them, like type of thing.
Yeah. I feel like Katara and Sokka could take them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Oh yeah. By the way, did I mention already that like nobody in this episode has a name? Like, there's like they introduced like 4 new characters and none of them have names.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Just really weird because we spend a decent amount of time with these guys and like it's really weird we never got a name for any of them.
Yeah.
But yeah. They're all sitting around the campfires. They're separate campfires, and then everyone in the tribes pulls out food and start eating. And Katara's like, "Wait, you guys brought in food? Like, why would you do that? It's dangerous." And then the leader of the Gajins is like, "Oh, please, why should my people go hungry when I know the Zhangs smuggled in food, so we were gonna get attacked anyway, so might as well let my people eat."
Right.
And I know on the other side of camp, Sokka is like doesn't even question it. He's just like, "Oh, sweet food, I'm starving."
I like the Jane's reason because the Jane like
40 it's like Inception levels where it's like we brought in food because they thought we had food, or like Jimmy Neutron, where they're like the brains are like meshed together, and then Carl is like extreme dislike of boys who dislike girls who dislike boys who dislike girls.
Yeah.
Like that whole 4 like 8-dimension level chess.
It was insane. Yeah.
By
the way, I don't know if you ever heard about that. Carl throwing that away like ends up like that could have been
is what like them to like get closer romantically. Yeah.
So that's funny.
Yeah, I know. Like that's the whole that was like what was preventing them from liking each other.
We don't even know whose memory that was.
Like a Jerry and Rick situation, where like their brain, like they each have like half of each other's brain.
Yeah.
Very, very strange situation. Yeah. So, by the way, that's another episode that's like very common in cartoons is like the mind swap episode.
Yeah.
Avatar never does that. Which I mean, there's not really anything in Avatar to make a mind swap, but it's a surprise.
Yeah.
It's kind of like but yeah, each leader is talking to Sokka and Katara and like explaining why they've hated each other for 100 years. And this is cool. The art style changes that happen for these stories are references to anime. The Zhang story is a reference to Dead Leaves, which I've actually seen that one. It's pretty all right. And then the Gajin story is a reference to Vampire Hunter D. I have not heard that one, but I have heard of it, and I heard it's pretty good.
You mean you haven't seen it, because you said you just said that you said I haven't heard of it. I've heard of it, but it's pretty good.
I said I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it, and I've heard it's pretty good.
No, you misspoke. You said I haven't heard of it, but I've heard.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you know what I meant though.
Yeah.
Yeah, or it's like in SpongeBob where I saw it and I liked it, but then Mr. Krabs fucking ripped the memories out of my eye holes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So the God Jins explained that they had the patriarch of their tribe, Jin Wei, had a special orb, and his their tribe has a redemption ritual where they're supposed to take that orb from one gate to the next. Good old red versus blue reference. The only reason we got a gate over here because I got a gate over there, and the only reason they got a gate over there is we got a gate over here.
I just love the fact that this is a redemption ritual. So, like, what the fuck did they?
He pulled a Darth Vader and he just killed a bunch of children.
No, worse. He messed up a kid's room and made him go clean it afterwards.
How dare he? Unbelievable. You know what? He should have gotten 20 years in prison.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, he was taking it, but then all of a sudden he was ambushed by Wei Jin. By the way, it took me the second watch to catch that like their names are just reversed.
That's funny, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't notice that at first. I was like, oh yeah, shit, that's funny. And yeah, then he stole the sacred orb. But the Zhangs are giving their side of the story. And like I said, it's really cool that we get different art styles for like their versions of the story. And I think both art styles kind of fit tribes. Where the Dead Leaf style animation is more like zany and wacky.
Yeah.
Where Empire Hunter D style is more like, like everyone looks like masculine and like buff and like, like proper and like presentable.
Yeah.
Which matches like Gajin. But yeah, the Zhangs are saying that their patriarch, Wei Jin, was a kind, noble man, and he found Jin Wei injured while trying to do his redemption ritual. So Wei Jin promised him that he would deliver the sacred orb for him, and then come back to treat his injuries. But when he returned the sacred orb, they believed he stole it, and then they threw him in prison for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I like that. I like that, two sides of the same story.
Yeah, I like to. I like to think the Zhane story is probably the correct one. I assume he got attacked by someone, and obviously the guy Jins didn't know it, so they threw him in jail, and they think he did it, so they threw him in jail.
Stole it, it attacked him. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can't really make an accurate assumption, but yeah, I imagine it's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So yeah. Aang is on the other side, is in kind of far off in the distance. He's kind of watching it. He's kind of sad with Momo that he can't be around the fire. Enjoying his time with everybody else. I like that. Aang's a kid and he's pretty lonely, obviously, because he's the last Airbender. So I like him being kind of and he's had Katara and Sokka this whole time. So this is probably one of his first nights without them, So I imagine, yeah, it's pretty lonely for him.
Yeah.
And then the Earthbender tour guy comes up and he, kind of is like, oh yeah, no, it's tough being the, impartial, isn't it? You're kind of separated from everybody else. Yeah. So, that also is very fitting since the next episode is the storm.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out, Aang being the Avatar kind of got him isolated from everyone, all the other Airbender kids.
Yeah. Very fitting.
Yeah. There's some good stuff in this episode, But yeah, that I really liked this Earthbender guide. It kind of sucks. It's a very funny joke at the end, where it's like, "Fuck all this, I'm coming with you." But I kind of wish we got more of him. He seemed like a cool guy. It would have been nice if he, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take Toph over this guy any day of the week. But it would have been nice if he traveled with the group for a couple episodes. Maybe he taught Aang some earthbending basics, and then he left the group for whatever reason.
Well, it would have been cool if we saw him again, in Boston Say. That would have been cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Or during the invasion. He could have been there during the invasion.
Okay, cool. He came up again. Yeah. Yeah. So again, it's just kind of a shame that he gets some there's more to him. Like like we said, the Zhangs and the Gajins are all kind of like basic. Like they're just kind of like stereotypes.
Yeah.
Which is like fine. Like I would have liked more from him, but like it's not necessarily a problem. Whereas this guy, they kind of gave him a little bit more to him, but they kind of just again they throw it away at the end. It's like it would have been nice if they kind of did something with him.
Yeah, I would have liked that.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, the night ends. Aang reconnects with the two groups. He asks Katara and Sokka what's up, and then he's like, hey, do you think we can kind of work on get these guys to work together? And Katara and Sokka are like, hell no, you screwed over the other guy, so like, nah, that ain't happening, Buster. Yeah, and then Owen, it's you.
Yeah, overall, this stuff was pretty solid. I like I kind of disappointed we didn't get much more with the tour guide. I like the two stories. And I like seeing Aang kind of struggle to be like in the middle and everything like that. That was fine. So then Aang's trying to figure out because they have to like climb across like a wall. They're not Spider-Man except for Aang, so they obviously can't be doing that. They can't do it that way. And Aang isn't Spider-Man, but he's got Spider-Man like special type of like skills and everything.
Like Aang, hey, why don't you do like your super speed, like up the wall thing? That thing you do sometimes, but you kind of forget that you can do it.
And AJ will talk about that.
Like once they get up this wall, they're out of the canyon. So I'm like, is Appa already up there? Can you just like Aang fly up, be like, hey Appa, like let's like.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of ways around this.
Very much so. So, but the white clothed group and the Zhanes are still like taking jabs at each other. And Aang had a line earlier that he said, where he said, "Harsh words won't solve problems, actions will." He said that to Katara and Sokka earlier, so he tries to use that line here, and the groups agree with him, but obviously they take the line a bit too harshly. Instead, they decide to actually like fight each other. I guess this was a surprise, and I feel like you didn't really know like they were like some of them were like warriors and stuff. You just thought they were like groups. So they pull out their swords and like there goes the break when like Aang like worried because he was like in the middle of this, so it was kind of showing that he's trying to be in the middle but like struggling.
I will say though, I like that neither groups really like are dicks to Aang.
Right.
Because that a lot in like episodes where like they'll like kind of lash out at the mediator. I do like that. Like they even say like perhaps the Avatar is right. Actions do speak louder than words. So like obviously they took it the wrong way, but they are kind of like respecting Aang as the Avatar.
Yeah, I like that. So yeah, everyone kind of gets into a fight. Eventually, Aang's had enough, and this is where he finally had a right to snap because he uses his airbender and kind of blows everyone, like all the groups back. And obviously, you see that doing all of this. You see the food fall out, and Aang obviously gets like angry because obviously them putting food down here was the reason they're in this whole mess, even though they could have gotten out of it. Like
our state like kills everybody.
You never know. That could have triggered it. So because he was starving, that it put the Avatar's life in danger. He could have gone into the Avatar state because he was like starving to death and everything like that.
Exactly.
So and he's upset with everyone that they smuggled food down here, and talks about how selfish they were, that like they couldn't put they couldn't go one day without food. But then Aang sees like a custard tote there, and Aang hasn't eaten in like probably since camp that night, because I'm gonna imagine like Aang and Katara, because Katara and Sokka have eaten, but I'm gonna imagine Aang and Katara and Sokka like didn't eat anything like before.
Well, yeah. Aang's getting mad at them for like bringing food down here, so the assumption is Aang didn't have anything to eat. So yeah, Aang hasn't eaten for like a day and a half, I guess.
Well, I was gonna say I think since camp, because I don't think they ate like before they went on the tour, because again they didn't know.
Oh yeah, probably yeah, you're right. So yeah, probably like a day and a half.
Yeah. So, hunger kind of starts to take over Aang. He goes into the Avatar state and kills everyone and takes all the food and just starts eating it.
The show's over. Cha-cha-cha.
And but unfortunately, before Aang can really do anything about it, a bunch of canyon crawlers show up, because because the food's presented to them now. I guess they got like a, I guess because some of them had meat. I guess they got the taste of like the meat. Kind of weird. Yeah, they always they all just showed up all at once. Like they weren't showing up like alongside it. Like they didn't show up at camp when they brought the food out or anything like that.
Yeah, because that's what I was saying. Like it's weird they all got through the night like stuffing their faces, and like the candy crawlers were all just like must have been the wind.
Maybe they were trying. And then I like this when like they. No, because everyone's freaking out. The tour guides, like, they're coming back for me, like he's going crazy. I like to think maybe that's why they didn't come out that night. They were like specifically looking for the tour guide and everything like that.
I would love that.
And Aang's doing the best he can and kind of trying to fight him off. He's doing actually a pretty decent job of it. It's just that there's too many of them and everything like that. The show could have ended at one point, by the way. A bunch of canyon crawlers, like, do like get like a mosh pit going. Aang could have died right there. Just got eaten by a bunch of.
Sokka and Katara look over and Aang just being like ripped to pieces. They're like, "Oh God, fuck! We have waterbending avatar. Shit."
It reminds you. Remember the Rick and Morty episode? It's like Rick has a device and it's like at a Comic-Con and like they rip like the device or like whatever happens like forces him to rip like his like rival like rip his limbs off and everything like that. I don't know if you remember that episode, but then
I don't remember that one.
It happened. Yeah. So then Katara and Sokka are doing the best they can. Sokka gets a really good hit on one of them. He uses his boomerang. He gets a hit on one of them and like completely knocks it out, which is pretty cool. So
I do like that. I like that when they show that Sokka can actually like kick some ass. Sometimes they'll like put him in fights and he'll just be like the comic relief the whole time.
And then doing all this, Aang kind of like sees that the canyon crawlers aren't really like specifically attacking them. They just want the food because he sees like a couple of them are just eating the bags of foods. So Aang throws so this kind of gives Aang the idea, and he has everyone like watch what he does, and he throws food at one of the canyon crawlers, and he goes to attack Aang, and Aang jumps on the canyon crawler's back and puts a bag of food like over his mouth, so that way like he can't get out of it, and kind of uses it so he could ride it. So everyone else kind of does this. Also, I forgot to mention this, but during this fight, like Sokka and Katara like make up, kind of saying that they don't care about this like feud anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, this was like they were kind of angry at each other for like one scene, and then here they were just like, yeah, Sokka, I don't really give a shit about all this stupid stuff. I just want to get out of here. And Sokka even says like, yeah, I only kind of took their side because they fed me.
So everybody does this. You get to kind of see the two groups work together, and Aang says, "All right, we're riding out of this canyon," and he has like a main one, and he has food like over his staff, and they all climb up the wall and everything like that. And then eventually everyone has to jump off quick. The poor tour guide, when he jumped off, I think his arms probably broke even more and everything like that because he takes a pretty bad fall falling off of there.
He's the reverse my leg guy from SpongeBob. He's like, my arm.
Yep. And Aang throws the bag of food back down so they don't all get attacked by the canyon crawlers. They all go after it. What a bunch of like fat asses these canyon crawlers are. They just might eat all the food and they want to eat more and everything like that type of thing.
Unbelievable. Their mother taught them no manners.
Yeah, I guess so. Are they all related, you think? Or do you think they're all like,
Yeah, they're in a real kiss-sis situation.
Hey, we could get the Avatar holiday special, which is just the canyon crawlers instead of, just the Chewies.
Instead of the fucking, the Wookiees, fucking Christ. And then they watch a shitty cartoon of Avatar.
Yes.
No, they watch the last AirBender movie.
But it wasn't out yet then.
Listen, the holiday special didn't make any sense. This doesn't have to make any sense.
That's true. And he was trying to get back to them because I guess because they don't have a canyon crawler. What's like the
Aang. He's celebrating Life Day with the canyon crawlers.
And then he goes back, and then Aang and Katara is too high to remember any of this shit, so she forgets.
Yeah, Katara sings a song, but she's so high, she just like, how did that happen? Well, I would love it if, like the holiday special, all the main characters are in it, but only for like a minute. Like they're contractually, we're like, I'm not being in this longer than I gotta be.
And the canyon crawlers, you know, will all, yeah, it'll be awesome. Oh, one of them's watching how to make something too, you know, because remember that happened in the holiday special.
Oh god, yeah, one of them was watching a weird ass circus thing. It's like Ty Lee's circus.
Yeah.
Introduce her, you know, why not?
Yeah. You have to introduce a main character in there. You gotta.
Exactly, you know, they holiday special introduced Boba Fett. This one introduces Ty Lee.
I like Ty Lee, not even Azula, but it's Ty Lee specifically. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, continue when the two groups kind of start to get along a little bit. They're kind of surprised and build a bond, but unfortunately, history can't be. Oh wait, that's supposed to be you, isn't it?
No, it's you.
Okay, we won't end in, so I wasn't sure.
Well, you said that how they get out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, sorry. I totally missed that. I didn't know you said that. Yeah, okay. The Aang like wrapped the bag around the canyon crawlers and used it to like climb up. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah, that's how we got on that whole tangent because I said what a bunch of fat asses. Because remember I said he throws the bag down and they all go after it and everything like that.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, so they're all kind of like, oh, you guys aren't so bad, but unfortunately we can't rewrite history. I'm still gonna kill you. And then Aang is like, because they're all talking about like Wei Jin and God Jin Wei, and Aang is like, by the way, considering Aang pulled this straight out of his air ass, he it's a pretty solid story, like he's bullshitting this, and he's like very confident in it.
Yeah.
Well, Aang has no shame. He hears like, I don't give a fuck. I will lie to these people all day, every day. Yeah, and then so Aang is like, wait a minute, I know those guys. I was there 100 years ago, and you guys kind of got it wrong. So Wei Jin and Jin Wei weren't enemies. They were They were twin brothers. And this whole redemption game you guys are thinking happened was a game because they were actually 8-year-olds. And Jin Wei, did trip and get injured, but he wasn't like fatally injured. And Wei Jin was put in the timeout corner for 2 minutes.
I love that the referee was a panda.
Yeah, I know, that was weird. I guess fucking Heibai, this was like his part-time job.
Yeah.
Before he up with that village.
I guess. Yeah, that the Earth kid that
Yeah, I know, right? I would love it if like Heibai's like, I blame you guys, and they're all like, come on, we didn't do it. The Fire Nation did it. And he's like. So yeah, I would love it. These guys are all saying the Fire Nation destroyed their village. Like the Fire Nation burned down our homes. We got to go to Ba Sing Se. And that guy is still just like, yeah, the Fire Nation. How dare they?
I would love it, by the way, too. If I don't know how, but maybe not this guy, but this guy's like ancestor was the one that caused this feud to happen and everything like that, like unexpectedly.
I would love it. No, fucking even going further back. Like when Roku is like going up to Sozin, like, Sozin, how dare you invade Earth Kingdom territory? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, you burned so many forests. And then this guy's like grandfather is like, yeah, no, the Fire Lord did it.
I love this. I just love this.
Yeah, this fucking guy's family tree starts the entire 100-year war.
Who we even say this guy is? Is it the guy? Because we never I don't think.
I would let Sokka go out there, but not Katara. He's like, oh, Sokka, you can get fucked with by Heibai, but Katara, no, we gotta save you.
I still don't get that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very odd.
Maybe Sokka knew something.
Yeah, Sokka was on to him. He's like, hey, these burn marks don't look like it was by a firebender. He's like, oh, you know too much. Go fight Heibai.
How come they wanted Aang to fight Heibai?
Because fuck him. Why not?
Okay.
This guy is racist. He's like, oh, a disgusting airbender.
And they did sell him out pretty quickly when Zuko showed up and everything.
Yeah, I know, right? No, literally, when Zuko came, he's like, I'm looking for the Avatar. He's like, here's his social security number, his last 5 emails, everything about him, his fucking full name.
But yeah, continue with the story, I guess, because hey.
Yep. So, yeah, and like all the tribes were pretty shocked to hear that they were like, their 100-year feud was over a football game. And Aang is like, hey, don't get me wrong, Wei Jin was kind of dirty. Jin Wei was kind of stuck up and stuffy, but they were able to respect each other and work together. And then the two tribes kind of make up and they decide that they're going to be one people, and go to Ba Sing Se together
and get hypnotized by Lon Fane and manipulated,
or they die on the way there. Like we never see them in Ba Sing Se, so they just fucking die.
They I was gonna say they died at Serpent Pass, but they didn't even make it to Serpent's Pass. They died like before that.
Yeah, Jesus. But yeah, I was gonna say, where the fuck are they? Yeah, I was gonna say, like, did they have to go to Serpent's Pass? I guess they did.
Yeah, because Aang and stuff had to, didn't they?
Yeah, well, I think the way it usually works is there's like a boat or a train that takes you through it, and then because Aang had to like protect that pregnant lady, they had to take like the long way.
Right.
So I don't know. Fuck it. Yeah, these guys just like fell in the water and drowned. I don't know. But yeah, they all leave, and then the tour guide's like, "Yeah, no, fuck this place. I'm going to." So goodbye to him.
No, this is last. That's his last. That's his last line and everything. So.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's pretty accurate. He's just like, "I'm getting out of the show. I'm leaving. Goodbye."
He didn't see the potential.
Yeah.
He didn't see the potential that he could have had, and the show was about to have.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah. He figured Aang would be like, "Hey, man, do you want to like teach me earthbending?" He's like, "Nah. I'm just gonna like not do that."
My aunt. I like to think he actually do earthbending.
And he's like, "I thought earthbenders could use their legs." He's like, "No,
I like
about that."
I would actually love to think if he actually could have like in the canyon, but he just decided not to.
He just forgot. He's like, "Oh yeah, right. I could have done that, huh? That slipped my mind."
All right, I'm going to Boston. Say.
All right, well, see you. I'm a really shitty tour guide. But yeah, Katara and Sokka are like, "Wow, it's really, really lucky that you knew Wei Jin and Jin Wei." And Aang is like, "Oh no, I fucking lied my ass off."
Mm-hmm.
I love that these people are having 100-year feud. Like it's been dominating their lives, and Aang's like, "Oh, I fucking lied."
What are these people's like ancestors that like were actually like there when it happened? I'm thinking that Aang lied their ass, lied his ass.
I would love like people died for this feud, and Aang is like,
it's all a game, all a redemption game, like.
Yep. Yeah, no, right. Aang is like, it's all a game, boys and girls. It's all a game, and I play to win. And Aang is no remorse. Katara's like, that is so wrong, and Aang's like, yeah. So anyway, where's that custard? Let's never reference this again.
Yeah. Honestly, we could sit here and talk about like how this probably didn't make sense for Ain's character, but considering the fact that this is never fucking referenced again, I don't really care.
Yeah, like it's funny, but like I cannot believe Aang did that. Like it's so strange for him to do that.
Just that he made up that like story and everything like that.
Yeah, again, like he just fucked with these people. Like this was like the most important thing in their lives, and they're just like, fucking, I want them to like they're working together over a lie, and I'm like. I mean, like, I guess it's good that they're working together, but, like, it's very strange that Aang just, like, had the bullshit to make it happen.
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever. That...
They're both, like, we're going to be one tribe now. And I'm like, you guys are also, like, still so different. Like, you guys are going to piss each other off in, like, the next day.
Probably. I like to think they're going to say...
Just, like, kill each other.
Maybe that's why they don't make... I like to think it's because the Jains don't put the tops up, and that would be like the next feud of putting.
Yeah, it fucking like rains acid or something, and they're like, "Oh God, if only we set up our tarps."
No, I like to think that like the white clothed group are gonna be like, "Put your fucking tops up." They fight to the death about whether or not they're gonna put their tops up. Like
it's like that red versus blue alternate ending where they all kill each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, that was the Great Divide. I gave it like a C-. Like I said, Great Divide itself is kind of a boring location. The characters are all pretty one note. Like they're serviceable, but like they're not anything really memorable. And yeah, it was just kind of boring. And like I said, it feels like there are so many ways to kind of get out of this canon. Like they really were not as stuck as they made it seem like.
Yeah, I agree. C minus. Characters are pretty one note, like you said. They could have gotten out of the situation. But again, like overhated. There's nothing really overwhelmingly offensive. I think it's just in the.
I think this is my least favorite episode of Avatar. I think Avatar Day might be my least favorite. But like it's this and that are like kind of contenders for my least favorite.
Yeah, just really whatever stuff. Nothing really offensive. I think again, like we said, I think it's just sandwiched between like a lot of really strong episodes. That this episode really stands out a lot. So, whatever. Hey, we got that line out of the Almirant's play out of it, so we got something, So
yeah. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I guess that's about it. I'm looking forward to the Storm and the Blue Spirit, which are much better than this.
Yeah. To do some plugs of promotion, we have some big videos coming up pretty soon. Next week, we're gonna finish off the original Star Wars trilogy and do Return of the Jedi, which I'm looking forward to. Because I don't know how that ends. I'm literally gonna watch that like right after AJ and I get off of here. Which might be in 5 hours, knowing us. And then we're gonna do the Storm and the Blue Spirit in a couple weeks, and then probably in a few more weeks after that, we're gonna do Evil Dead 2 or Walking Dead, depends on our mood. But yeah, we have a lot of big things we want to get done. And then March, we're gonna be. By the way, I hope you realize March is coming up pretty soon. It's probably.
You literally have like a week left until March, which is weird.
Probably gonna be middle of March. We're gonna shortly after my birthday. We're gonna start back up Danny Avatar in bed like properly and everything like that, and just go hardcore on it and just try to get as much done as we can.
We're very close to the end of season 1 for Rick and Morty, Dragon Ball, and Ben 10. So we're definitely gonna try to get those done soon. And then we're halfway through Danny Phantom and Avatar season 1, so we're gonna try and truck along, and then keep going strong for season 2.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely make sure you check out all that stuff. Check out my wrestling channel too. AJ made an appearance where he tried to get where he did a wrestling guessing game, so that should be fun too. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys, and we will talk to you guys later.